getting here on Lijiang Tower. If you guys were here last week, you would know that this is where it all happened, particularly right here, where Troy had that stalemate initially. And it was really like for a good maybe 10 seconds starting in the round. Not a lot going on, but then Troy was able to get that momentum going in their favor. Moving upwards here, pushing Delaware back, and hoping that we can see some of that same tonight. Troy definitely stoked to get to play a good team tonight. And again, we're going to be playing again another game. I'm not sure exactly who that may be. Of course, I don't think I'll ever know, to be fair, now that I think about it. But regardless, it will be fun to see Troy coming out of their ship here, moving up with that TP. And here we go, guys. Get into that big fight. Looking again, playing on that Domina is me here for St. Clair. And also on that Domina is Antares. Antares already going to go down, though, unfortunately. So Troy losing that first blood battle. Getting pushed back severely here. Looks like Troy losing that tank, of course, opens up your squishies to get targeted big time. Now Troy forcing to be play in their own spawn. Antares getting on that Reinhardt, hoping to be a little more of a stalwart with that damage. That's a subclass, by the way, guys. Getting in here to see what they see. Jacob playing that Lucio. Antares on the Reinhardt here, making some ground, though, definitely. Looking like St. Clair might have took more of a defensive position instead of opting to hold space. Chief here playing on that Reaper. Braxton going to take Invu. Kevin taking Jacob off the board there. Rope here on the Kiriko. And looking like Troy, for the most part here, has done a decent retake. Of course, not capping the point. There we go. Capping the point there for Troy. Eliminated there is Braxy by me on that Domino. But Troy looking to get to hold this point here for a little bit, though. We will see that St. Clair is taking those attacking positions. Looking like they're going to take a quick retake. And again, wiping Troy off the board, unfortunately, there. Having to wait to press once more. And again, St. Clair really playing that very well, getting that retake after losing it quickly, regrouping very fast. This is what you love to see out of them. And look, more of what we saw at the very beginning of the game. Antares taking charge with that Reinhardt. Chief now playing on the Genji, interestingly. And then Braxley still staying on that Sojourn. We like to see that from Brack. Chief getting in there. Antares going to go down, though, on the Reinhardt. Looking like we might see more of the same, where Troy going to be forced to fall back here. We see here Jacob coming back. Antares getting back into position here as quick as he possibly can, not allowing his squishies to be left out in the open alone for too long. But not seeming to make any more space, really, and 75% on that cap point for St. Clair. Looking like they may take this pretty handily unless we can see a really good retake here by Troy. But Antares going to go down there. Braxy getting on a flank here, potentially, getting some damage there. But going to be taken out. Jacob playing that backside on the Lucio. One of the only ones up here in the front lines, a support player. Not something you typically see. And again, Antares coming back with that Reinhardt. 99% on the point. Contested, though, for Troy. Clinging on for dear life. And can Troy potentially make some sort of miracle comeback here? Clinging on to the point. Not really seeing much resistance from St. Clair just yet. Coming back now, though. We will rope here. Antares fighting for their lives. Antares going down there. Rope the last one on the point. And that will seal it for St. Clair. Putting up a really valiant effort there at that last moment was Troy. Crazy to see that. I mean, they held on to that 99% for a good 15 seconds, I might say 20 maybe. And I mean, wow. You know, you don't typically see that out of a team going down 99%. But again, really good effort by Troy. Unfortunately, not being able to get hold of the point. They took it once, getting that 15% they had got on the board. But again, not really be able to do much with it. Getting taken off quickly by St. Clair. And then, again, not really doing as effective in their retakes. Again, on that 99%, being able to get back on the point, but not really knock St. Clair off of it to be able to actually utilize that point. So now we're going to see how exactly Troy plans on playing this next half here on Li Jiang. Antares hopping on that Sigma here, getting already into the thick of it, staying on that Domina is me. Kevin going to stay on that Sojourn. Again, a lot of damage getting taken on Antares here. Not really getting the support he needs. Looking to have to fall back. Chief there going to take Steveriel out, though. Chief looking to come from the backside here. Kevin unaware, but there he goes. 2 on him now. That Domino will support Sojourn. Now Braxy going to play that Cassidy, coming up here by himself, looking to get into a good position to potentially get some picks and allow Troy to take this point pretty handily. Not a lot of percentage here for St. Clair just yet. Going to rack it up soon though. And not quite able to get Aesthetic off the board there in a bit of a gunfight. And now getting double team. Braxy though going to take Invu. Giving Troy the man advantage potentially on the point, but not able to really take that space that they could have gained from it. And again, Antares coming onto this backside. Looking like Troy will be taking this point though, just at least for a moment here. St. Clair going to be flooding though, and Troy a bit split. Braxy and Chief Rope also playing on that right side of the map. Antares was left to his own devices here on site, and unfortunately getting taken out by Kevin there. Jacob trying his best to keep everybody alive. Doing so himself. Braxy, one of the last remaining people here for Troy with any sort of chance to actually do anything, and unfortunately not going to get the job done. Antares coming back here on the Sigma. And again, Troy really not able to coordinate too well to actually group together and push. And St. Clair doing an absolutely stellar job to hold this site here. Losing it once, getting that 26%. Troy getting the jump on things, but taking it back quickly and not showing signs of losing it whatsoever. Throwing the rock there. Antares stuck in this corridor here. Chief looking to get a little bit of damage moving on this Genji. And getting on the backside here. Kevin going to take 4. No, 3 there for Kevin. Stevriel getting another one. And yeah, as we see there, Troy just falling. A team kill for St. Clair, and absolutely stellar by St. Clair to hold this. 2 ults on the board for them. Looking over here at Troy though, every single ult on the board for us. Would expect to see some of that usage. Potentially High Noon coming in clutch here. A Kasune rush as well. And then Antares going to fall off the map there. Not something you want to see. I'm not very happy I caught that. Braxy getting on that High Noon. Not going to be able to do anything with it. Jacob and Chief holding down the line. Not quite able though to contest that point long enough. And Troy will be going down here 2-0 on Li Jiang Tower. Absolutely amazing by St. Clair, I will admit. Really, 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 really good by St. Clair to hold these points. I mean, not even giving Troy any sort of leeway on site. And I'm probably going to see that triple kill here by Kevin. Yeah, on fire there. Absolute. Second map against St. Clair. We have not seen Troy this season play on Blizzard World. So potentially to see a bit more, well, most certainly going to see some takes that we haven't seen in the past. But perhaps that play style might stay much the same. Not quite sure here. Looking into the center of the map, St. Clair getting ready to defend early here, that point. And then in turn also that payload not wanting to give it up. This looks a bit StarCraft inspired. I wonder, yeah, this looks like that StarCraft artillery tank, but that is definitely not what we are playing here tonight. But either way, looking like that Hanzo coming on the board for Kevin, so that is going to be who he plays when he has no Sojourn to his name. And that Diva played by St. Clair. So we had saw last game, Diva was who Troy had banned initially. So that's definitely interesting to see. them back on it. Potentially really good diva play coming up. Antares on that Domina, as we saw early on last on Li Jiang, looking to give it a second chance. Jacob going to play that jetpack cap. I might want to watch him a bit. A lot of damage getting taken there by Antares, by the way. And that jetpack cap, I mean, was he see? He's just a drone, basically. That's really like the majority of what jetpack cats play entails. A lot of just drone-like play. Chief going down, though. Braxy hopping on that Widow, looking to get some nice clips here tonight, I'm sure. Some good picks. Missing there. Invu going to take rope off the board. Invu taking another one. Looking to have to fall back here is Troy. St. Clair definitely going to take this opportunity to kind of settle. And again, Troy with 3 minutes on the board here to at least just get on this first capture point and do much of anything. Me here, or Sammy, on the Diva, kind of just waiting on Troy, seeing how Troy might decide to push, looking to get into their positions ready. Staying on that Domina, though, is Antares. And taking a lot of damage from that Widow. I mean, we keep seeing that. He is hitting his shots. Invu is not missing tonight. Kevin popping that ult there on Hanzo. Troy looking to get aggressive quickly here, potentially get on site by force. Good health here for Troy. Not great ult economy, though. Invu looking to get that ult soon here. But can't really say the same for Troy. And Braxy here on that backside, still playing that Widow. Chief getting a pick there, putting Troy on the board for the kills. Invu going to take Jacob off the board. On fire, Invu. Sammy getting rope. And in a brawl here with the Diva is Chief, looking like he's going to have to make his mind up now as to where he wants to play. Looking to hopefully get some picks here. Kevin, though, going to take out Chief and Brack. Invu taking out Antares, and another wipe here. Troy absolutely not able to get anything moving here against St. Clair. This choke point, really, St. Clair is holding it very effectively. And even though we saw Troy, it kind of came up that backside and tried to catch St. Clair off guard a bit, really to no avail. And despite the fact that we saw Troy holding on with some good health there, they still were not really able to do much with it. Braxy here looking to get into position quickly here to potentially get some picks, and that's kind of all you need. You get some picks here, these guys playing these top positions, and that's kind of how you're able to get your team back on the board. Sock, though, going to take Antares out on the Zarya. Unfortunately, there's Troy's tank going down once again, so not really going to leave much wiggle room for the rest of Troy here. Brack having to play that backside. Real taking rope off the board. 60 seconds on the board. No capture for Troy here so far. So looking like Brack's just going to be way off over here by himself. A bit interesting to see that. Potentially looking to play a bit of a flanking play style. I'm sure St. Clair may not be expecting that. Looking at Sammy on this Diva. Yeah, this is a really good position now that I actually spectate him. Really good position here from Sammy. Jacob getting aggressive on that jetpack cat. Unfortunately not able to do much with it. Trying to keep Chief there alive. And again, not working for them. Contesting site, though, was Brack for but a moment. Running for his life. 9 HP. Getting that L pack. Whoa, Braxy, I'm surprised you stayed alive that long. Getting chased down by a Diva and the rest of St. Clair. Not allowing much of anything there. Jacob playing this backside on the jetpack cat. Getting aggressive here. Looking to basically do anything to try and hang on. Overtime coming in as Troy was on the point. But overtime to end soon here. And St. Clair will take our third game of the season. 2-0. Not take the game. I don't know why I said that. But St. Clair will take that first round. Yeah, Rope, he had kind of confused me. You said GG. And I was like, oh, well, I mean, hybrid, we're ending that early. Okay, but no, guys, we will be playing the second half. And we kind of can see exactly how Troy adjusts here. As we saw, I mean, Sammy playing, very nice position here for him. I will say this place right here, playing on that Diva, kind of no wiggle room for Troy to get around. Just sitting right here. And again, I mean, that was Very, 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 very good spot here. Seeming Troy potentially might hold that same position. I imagine that is a common position here. And also looking at the payload direction, if you guys were wondering. But looking like Antra is going to stay on that Zarya. Jacob hopping back on that Wu Yang. Chief on the Genji. Rope Kiriko. And Brak going to stay on that Widowmaker. Let's see if he can get some early picks for Troy here. And again, Troy, after losing that first round, are not really able to get much done, better to say, on that first round. We are hoping to see a bit more of life out of Troy, especially on this defense-sided part of the map, going to allow them to do a little more, hopefully. And then Brak looking for somebody to fly across the sky, potentially get a pick there. Nobody quite yet. Missing there, unfortunately. Not able to get Kevin either. And looking like he's going to have to retreat here. Getting chased down by Kevin. Chief here playing on that Genji. Brak going to get Envu, though. I missed that one. Sock taking out Antares. Chief going to get Sock, though. Trading off Antares. And despite the fact that there is no tank here, Troy definitely was able to get some picks there for a moment to kind of keep the momentum going. Kevin getting 2 off the board, though. And Sock going to take Jacob. And literally immediately taking that point was St. Clair. That was a quick second half. I can say that. There we go. Okay. There's our GGs, guys. Let's see this play of the game. Actually, I do think I know which one this is. From real here. Yeah, on that Alari. I mean, definitely more of an attacker side of support here. But yeah, good aim there. Whoa, good aim there by real. And I mean, found on the left side. GVSU on the right. And bans going up on the board in just a moment here. Troy taking May off the board, unless I was incorrect. Hopefully I'm not wrong on that, but I did check right before the game had started, and I did see May was up on the board for our ban, which, you know, I haven't seen before, but to be fair, I haven't seen too much saying that. Now, Troy, Antares, we're going to once again see on that Domina, Braxy hopping on that Sojourn, Spruce playing in place of Rope here. And he's going to be on that Juno. And waiting here for the attack. Looking to see a bit of a, again, coordination. Just coordination, and team play is what we want to see out of Troy right now. Moving into the objective. Hot pursuit already raining down on Troy. Lunar going to take Braxy out there. Absolutely out of nowhere on the Symmetra going down. And Troy going to lose that first blood. GVSU here sticking together for sure. That Echo getting very, very aggressive. Same with that Sojourn. A Wild Eevee. And we see, I mean, a bit of a stalemate here. Although GVSU will take the point. Antar is going to go down there. Not really given much of an opportunity to get on site there without interest. Chief, though, going to take Kim. And now it's a bit of a waiting game for Troy as this percentage ticks up again. Trying to wait for your tank to come back on the board. And here comes Antares. Hot pursuit of that site. Trying to get back on to give Troy an opportunity here to retake potentially. And again, all we need to see right here is just an ability to stay up. Get that good support out of Jacob and Spruce. And allow them to get back on that side effectively. Again, stuck a bit in this corridor here. Not really able to find any sort of way on to site. 38% now. Not a percent yet for Troy. Making moves, though, here is Antares. Definitely taking a little bit of space, allowing Braxy and Chief to get up closer. Chief going to go down, though, by Lunar. Braxy as well. Going down by Twisty. And Antares very low here. Going to be taken out by Kim, unfortunately. And all alone will be Spruce and Jacob to flee for their lives. Spruce here trying to just get into a position where he can actually stay alive here before Braxy comes back. And looks like Troy once again is going to try to form up here for a push. But if we look up at the top here, 3 ults on the board, almost 4 here. Even 5 actually for GVSU. And only Spruce with his ult in his hands. Braxy here taking that damage, but Wu Yang going to keep Braxy up. Jacob on the Wu Yang. And Jacob there going to be able to get his ult here. Spruce going to drop that ult as Troy finally makes their way onto site. Spruce and Chief getting some damage in there. Antares back on that bread and butter Sigma. And a lot going on right here on site. Troy was able for but a moment to get here on site for a bit of contesting.
This ends now.
But not going to be enough to actually get a foothold on site. Very chaotic there that last bit. Antares switching onto that Sigma. And Spruce popping that Juno ult. Allowing them again to get a bit of a foothold, but not quite enough to really make any sort of difference. And the outcome of the round, still losing by a full 100% there was Troy. Now back here on the separate site on Lijiang. All Troy needs to be able to do is, again, we would actually love to see, if anything at all, able to get on that site quickly so that they're able to take that early foothold and kind of hold it. And Antares looking like that's maybe what he's trying to do, going a bit defensive here on the Reinhardt. Chief on the Reaper. TPing there quickly. And already had a bit of a sneeze there, guys. Sorry, I actually couldn't hold it. But either way, already in an engagement here is Troy, the stalemate moving. Chief here on the Reaper, getting into this backside, looking for somebody to hunt down, get this number advantage back in Troy's favor, because Bruce will be going down. Lunar, though, going to take Chief. Antares, the sole one, sitting on the point, going to go down soon here. Jacob, all by himself, running for his life. Making good moves, though, somehow was able to get away for a while there. And will go ahead and cap this point here. Is GVSU. Coming back here on the Cassidy is Braxy, looking again to try to get a pick on the board to give them an opportunity to take this site. Not able to get anything done here yet. A lot of GVSU players in his line of sight. Nothing coming here from Braxy, though. And looking at Antares here, taking a lot of damage, getting that healing there by Spruce and Jacob. Good job of keeping him up. Braxy low now, though. Potentially going down here by Lunar. And unfortunately, yeah, Braxy will be going down there. Spruce now getting chased. Having to fall back. Not able to provide that support for Antares, which will result in Antares going down on the Reinhardt. Braxy able to take out one there on the Sojourn. And I think Braxy had just fallen off the map there. I switched to him, kind of trying to figure out exactly where he was located. And now that I realized that I was not watching Braxy, I was definitely watching Chief there on that Cassidy earlier. Braxy here now, as we see, switching onto this Tracer. And not really a lot going on here for Troy in terms of site action. Not this map, or not this site or the last one. Antares still stuck in this little section. Not really able to get a foothold onto site as this team kind of wraps around. Braxy going to go onto this backside, try to get something done here. A tree going to take out Chief. And this Lucio got the moves going on, but Jacob will take him out with the help of Braxy there. Jacob again moving as well, trying to get clear. And trying to get back on site quickly here is Antares, while there's still even an opportunity. Contested here, just like last game, contesting the site at 99%. Can Troy hold on? Actually, an opportunity here, potentially. Braxy the last one here for a chance. Overtime ticking down. And GVSU will take this first map here on Lijiang Tower from Troy. Again, a bit of a common trend here to see Troy sitting there, taking that 99% contestant. A tree here on the Echo with the play of the game. Let's see what we have in store here. And this is, I did expect this. I always seem to know exactly when or what the play of the game is going to be based on what I'm seeing in the kill cam. And going to take Echo off the board is Troy, though. As we saw there, Echo, a tree, was absolutely on fire, really putting in the work there for GVSU, not really giving Troy any opportunities there. especially like playing his role effectively as a damage. We saw many times, even getting the play of the game there, doing a lot of work. And again, even looking further into it, the tank play for GVSU was really good. Hopping in that Venture now after losing his Echo will be a tree. Rope hitting, popping on that Mizuki, and Jacob on that Jetpack Cat. A lot of new heroes now looking at our lineup. As you can see, Jacob on that Jetpack, Antares on that Domina, and Rope on that Mizuki. A lot of different heroes, and going to take up their defensive positions there in that common spot for Shambali. We saw last week here on Shambali, Troy is effectively able to hold that, and actually even effectively able to push it, though not as much as we had seen the rest of the game from him. And hoping to see Braxy here potentially get some picks early for Troy on this Sojourn. Getting some quick damage there on a tree. And again, looking like we're going to have to wait a little bit for everybody to settle in before we start seeing some real action here. Abilities already going down. Chief and Braxy on this same choke point. Getting very aggressive there already was Kim on that Lucio. Trying to really distract Troy. Chief getting low there, but able to hold it together. Antares getting dangerously low for Troy. Having to fall back a bit and wait on that support, but not quite able to do it. Looking like he may go down soon here, Antares, and he will. Hopefully Troy is able to make up for it. Going to go down, though, is Braxy. Chief there, able to get one, though. Trying to play aggressive. Getting another one is Chief. Rope getting Lunar, and really holding out well here. Troy, after losing their tank, able to hold this payload. Obviously not stopping it from moving, but the ability to still get picks in that situation is really paying off. Seeing a lot of movement play here from Chief on this Junkrat. As potentially walking down. Evie going to take Jacob out there. On the Sojourn here is Braxy getting one. Almost getting two there for Braxy. On this backside there. Tree being aggressive on the Venture. Going to go down though by Chief after taking out Brack. Not quite able to really move the payload here after a good start here for GVSU, but I might eat my words here soon. And as we saw, I didn't quite catch that. Antares switching onto the Winston here for Troy. Chief opting to stay on that Junkrat during the respawn. And really getting into the thick of it. Kim absolutely putting on the moves for GVSU. Mind you, that Lucio play is absolutely immaculate there. Despite the fact that he will be going down by Rope, he was putting on the moves there for but a moment. That Mizuki going to go down here. Stop those bullets from coming in. So for a moment, they're going to have to force GVSU to push hard if they wanted to, but GVSU already down by that time. Both damages here with their ults. Chief and Braxy looking like we're might going to see some play out of them. Getting aggressive here is Brack, having to fall back though after doing so that he doesn't get picked off. Chief going to pop that ult here, getting one with it. You love to see that. Getting that ult value. Unfortunately though, still pressing up very far into Troy's territory here is GVSU. Nobody really able to find a safe spot here. Braxy kind of all out on a lonely island. Even Antares now coming back. That payload not stopping anytime soon apparently, unless Troy is able to get on that backside and actually put in the work to make their presence known. Braxy going to take out Kim though. Looking like A-Tree might do the same. A lot of quick movement here. I've kind of noticed that here by GVSU. They love to play those quick heroes and really stop you from being able to hit them. Again, trying to go ahead and at least get this payload down before those 2 points get on the board here for GVSU. Getting a lot of damage here is Brack, but not quite able to finish anything off. Rope and Jacob going to do the job, and we saw Rope there actually going ahead and switching off of the Mizuki so that he can play his bread and butter, that Kiriko. A crazy laugh there by Junkrat, I'll admit. I haven't heard that before, but anyways. Looking like Troy has a bit of a break here. Nice to kind of catch a breather. Regroup. No where GVSU is coming from. And as they're going to be forced to funnel in here, it's really going to be really who can hit their shots here. And the payload moving in a position where they can kind of take that cover and make it a little bit harder to play that backside position, looking like they're going to have to be a bit more intentional about where they move. A tree coming on that backside, but Antares not going to let that happen. And as we can see here, Braxy still staying on this backside, getting a lot of damage. Tree going to take Chief off the board. 1 damage down. Eevee taking Jacob there. A Tree taking another one. Rope. And Troy whittling down here a bit. Antares going to take Eevee off the board, though. Finally stop his reign of terror. And the payload going to move into its position. Brack going ahead and hopping off the map there to try to get back into a better position, because moving through that contested position would not bode well for him whatsoever. And again, Troy kind of their last stand here, trying to hold off this last position. 2 minutes and 43 seconds though here for GVSU, and already halfway through with the payload. Not really looking good for Troy, unless they can kind of pull out something crazy here. It's not going to seem like they're able to kind of stop this payload from getting to that 3 points. Lunar taking 2 there. Braxy not really able to get any picks here. Neither is Chief, unfortunately. Chief going to go down there. As I say that, Eevee taking him out. Braxy getting a lot of damage here, but not really quite able to get any picks here. We haven't seen a lot. Kim going to take Rope out. Antares back up on the board, trying to get in their faces as quick as possible. The last little sliver here of the payload. And no way to stop the payload. Didn't think so. Once it was in that position, not much you can really do as Troy there in that situation. And going to go down 3-0 here on this escort on Shambali Monastery. And really, I mean, Troy was not able to play that defensive position and effectively stop GVSU. I mean, for a moment there on that first point, they were able to kind of hold it. But after that, really, after GVSU had broke through there, it was really nothing seemed to go in Troy's favor. As we remember, they came up through here, and yeah, this point right here, after getting past here, GVSU basically opened the floodgates there, not really giving Troy any breathing room whatsoever. Now, Antares going to hop on the Orisa. I remember I used to call Orisa Osira for some reason, but I will admit Osira does sound like a cool name. But either way, that's not important. So, watching here, Troy going to be the ones on that attacking side. GVSU going to take their positions here, playing the same way Troy does, as anybody should on Shambali, but looking like 2 may play low. Kim here, still on that Lucio, absolutely reigning terror here on Troy lately, putting on the moves, staying on that venture is Tree, as he should, because he is really, really doing great. And again, Eevee switching over to the Ashe, though, off of the Sojourn. Braxy opting to hop on that Hanzo. Not playing his contemporary. And there he goes. As I say that, hopping on that Widowmaker. Let's see if he can get some picks here for Troy. Get that man count up. Chief, I noticed, already getting very, very low on that venture himself. And a Tree, yeah, going to take Chief out there. I mean, when he's that low, you need to go and find your pick. Lucio here will be played by Jacob. And Antares absolutely getting shredded there by Lunar. Oh my goodness. If you looked at that health bar, oh my gosh, it went down quick. Some pot shots coming out from Braxy here. A gunfight between him and Eevee for a moment there, but a bit of movement on the payload here for Troy. Stopped, of course, but 3 minutes on the board to try to move it a bit closer. Looking like they're waiting to get to push again together. Braxy still hunting that pick that he could potentially get here. Playing up close here now, though. Eevee potentially going down. Able to get out of the way, though. Tree going to take Jacob off the board. And taking Braxy with him. And Troy getting absolutely wiped there. Chief, while he was able to take Tree off the board. Troy bunched up and not really able to get anything moving there. Off of that momentum we saw there, Eevee was able to retreat effectively out of that position that he was exposed in. Now we see Braxy here on the Cassidy, hoping some way, somehow, we can just find some picks here. to be able to get our name on the board. Early in the round, we were able to, but not so much anymore. The payload moving a little bit now, but will not go unanswered by Kim. And Brack here looking like he may be able to take Lunar there, getting low, but not quite finishing the job. Tree going to take Rope off the board. More support going down. Tree taking Chief as well. Wild, Eevee, Antares, and Braxy going down as well. And Jacob all on his lonesome here, running as far as he can back to spawn. Waiting here for another opportunity. And it really feels like we're almost in a purgatory here. Troy pushing the site, not succeeding. Regrouping, pushing the site, not succeeding. And again, it's not like Troy is really like a broken record. They are trying different things. They are looking to push at different times, and the timing just in general getting matched up. But nothing really going in Troy's favor. As I say that, Chief going to get a pick on the board here on a tree. Braxy hoping to follow suit here on the Cassidy. Kim going to take Chief. Twisty taking Antares off the board. And Rope going to go down there. Looking at Jacob here on the Lucio. Really trying to put the moves on, but unfortunately not able to get out of harm's way. And essentially a team wipe for Troy here, but Antares, Chief, and Rope coming back at a timely manner to be able to actually try get a little bit more pressure. 4 ults on the board though for GVSU, potentially getting popped soon here with this 45 seconds left. 3 now, 4 for Troy though, as Braxy gets taken down. Looking like we will see a drill merge, a drill dash coming in from Chief. Rope going to go down there. A tree absolutely tearing Troy apart. Antares all on his lone here. Not able to do much of anything. 20 seconds on the board for Troy here to actually try to do anything. Braxy here jiggle peeking around the corner, hoping to get a pick now. And again, like not a good economy here for Troy in terms of getting picks. Not a lot of damage to be tossed around. GVSU opting to play aggressively, might as well in the last seconds of the round. Overtime coming on the board. Troy contesting in a timely manner. Braxy getting 2 there. Whoa. Eevee going to take Chief off the board in a tree, getting another one. Wild Eevee taking Jacob. Antares following suit. And Rope going down as well. And unfortunately, Troy will lose the second game here on Shambali Monastery. Looking for that play of the game. Honestly, I have no idea. Potentially going to Lunar. Wild Eevee will take it on that Ash. Of course, it comes at the very last seconds of the game. Yeah, when Troy was going for that final opportunity to get a push going there, not really able